Right, kids, if you know the words of prayer, pray with me that I can drive this empty tank right on down to the station. It's just about a block off the street. I just need to get there. The tank's not actually empty, but my car cannot take any kind of incline. So my grandmama lives on a hill. The car was pointed this way. Even if I would have come up the hill and drove with the car up, it still would be on empty. So, because car is 20 years old. She's 20 and she's just, so I got it on neutral coming down the hill. I'm coming around the hill. These kids need to get out the, girl, get out the street. You think because you white with that swoop bang. Oh, children work my nerves. He stood in the street with his hands on his hips like that. Girl, do you not know? Do you not know that I don't care? I do. I wouldn't hit that baby. Anyway, girl, so I came to give y'all the quad, but honey, I'm trying to make it up. I'm going up another hill and it's on E, and I'm like, girl, I just need to get one block that way. Just one block. Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Okay, so the quad. Now I gotta stop at this stop sign, child. Ooh, and it's steady on E. It ain't going up. Usually by now it starts going up slightly. Ever so slightly, but slightly. Anyway, girl, so the quad. Little girl is standing outside harassing the band director. She's standing outside this man's house. As my great-great-aunt would say, harassing this band director. She's out there playing. She's not playing, you know, my favorite song from last season. Dun 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 dun. That song, child, is still in my head a whole season later. Girl, I need this little needle to go on up. Anyway, she's standing outside this man's house. He comes outside. She's blocking him from getting to his car. He steps around her, hops in the car, and starts playing Backstabbers. I'm like, what 50-some-odd-year-old man is tech savvy enough to immediately queue up Backstabbers to play in his car? It's unrealistic. Jasmine guy, we see her. She has come back to us. And she got her napkin, honey, and she grabbing onto the utensils and the buffet things. And I'm like, girl, me too. I keeps my sanitizer. You ain't going to have me out here germ infested and dying of Ebola and Zika and Zika-bola and Ebola and carrying on. I ain't getting it. Anyway, so they make it real clear to us that she is a germaphobe. And anyway, they having a meeting, child. And they're meeting about the finances. Apparently, the school, well, obviously, we've had this conversation before. The school is broke. And, all right, that needle done went back up. I'm still going to put some gas in it, though. That's good. Hold on, I'm going to call y'all back. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Had to pump a little gas. After you pump, sanitize those hands. You don't know what's going on out in this world. And this show also confirmed that niggas is nasty. Anyway, let me make this light loop and then I get back to y'all. Gotta make sure I don't hit this truck. Okay, so they're having this meeting. They talking about finances and oh girl. Sorry. Trying to get out in the street. There's a lot of traffic out here. They're discussing finances and how the school ain't got no money and they, you know, don't want to go into the reserve. And I'm like, well, what's the reserve for if you can't go into the reserve when y'all ain't got no money? But they don't want to go into the reserve. They are having trouble paying Terrence's family back. And I'm just really trying to understand why Terrence mom and them is suing for. This boy done shot himself in the head. What y'all suing for? But we'll get to them in a little bit. Apparently Eve was late because there was a mouse in her office and she had to catch it with her bare hands because she grew up on a riverbank in Mississippi or some Tuscaloosa. And, you know, she caught a bunch of mice when she was a child and they were her pets like Michael Jackson. So I don't know why that was relevant unto us except to show her that maybe she is more down to earth than she appears. I guess that's what that was for. Girl, the speed limit is not the limit that we're driving at the moment, and I'm going to need you girls to go. I got to get to the grocery store. My grandmama and them need food. So anyway, the accreditation is in jeopardy because the girls have no money. They're heading towards bankruptcy. And Eva gets up and she slams her hands on the desk and she gives us, the longer it takes us to pay Terrence, the more he haunts me. And we need to get this out of the way because I'm haunted. And then she storms off and she goes, excuse me, I need to check on the meatballs cooking in the... She just came up with a random something to leave. But she looked very distressed. And I was like, you need to call Candace over in the Haves and the Have-Nots so she can teach you how to your world be crumbling, but you don't show it all in the here region. Because Candace broke down after her mama had told her she didn't want her and didn't need her and didn't love her. She broke down after the fact. Anyway, actually her mama said she loved her, but I ain't believe all that. I wasn't with all that because Hannah get on my nerves. But we ain't talking about that no more. We talking about this now. But yeah, Eva's having trouble. And it's, it's refreshing to see Eva actually suffering. Not that I want to see Anika Noni Rose suffer or Eva, the character, suffer. I don't want to see that. But it brings her, because last season she was so inhuman. She did not have a personable, she wasn't personable. Her daughter didn't want to live with her. She wanted to go stay with her daddy because she didn't like her. And, she just wasn't friendly. She wasn't warm. She didn't show us that, yes, I am a human being with emotions and feelings and things going on. So to me, it's kind of good that this happened. It's bad, obviously, but it's good in the fact that, like, we can see that she is actually a living, breathing human being because she was giving us robot for the longest time. Whoa, for the longest time. Let me get through some more of this and then I'm going to run in the stove. Let's see. Football friend, I can't catch his name. Don't really care to. He goes over to the dean. Girl, no one has the time. He goes over to the dean and is like, can you talk to Professor Jasmine Guy about altering my grade, yada, yada. And I think Dean was like, girl, you got to do that yourself. You have to do that your own self. Sydney is taught in class, class getting ready to start. I guess Jasmine Guy is the only professor at the school. Whatever, though. So she in class, in Jasmine Guy's class, and a white roommate is in there. And then she turns to white roommate and says she's going to hang out with Miles tomorrow. And white roommate, what's her name, Madison? White roommate, she's like, girl, do you think it's too soon? And I'm like, I hate when people do that. I hate when people try to, like, let the girl test her boundaries. Let her feel her way through this. You ain't got to be all in her Kool-Aid with the too soons and the Karens. You ain't got to do all that. And then she gets up because she don't feel well. Jasmine Guy's down there talking about we got a quiz, and white roommate is like, I got to go, and Jasmine Guy's giving you wasn't sick until you heard you had a quiz, and then white roommate comes on down to the front of the class before Jasmine Guy's very feet and throws up on her feet and in the trash can, but on her feet. My spirit turned over. And the first thing I thought was, Lord, is this girl pregnant? But then the second thing I thought was, she probably ain't pregnant because it was just last week that she had sex with this boy and she hadn't seen him in months. And I just don't, it seems too soon. Jasmine Guy is as grossed out as I was. She went to the bathroom, wiped off her shoes, and they made a point to show her, drop the napkin on the floor. And I'm like, now, Jasmine, you are a grown woman. I feel like grown women would pick up the napkin, directly deposit the napkin into the trash can. But they showed her drop the napkin on the floor, and then they showed true roommate, the original roommate, pick up the napkin and put it in the trash. And then they showed door handle touching and all of this, so obviously contagion. Let's see. So once we find out that it is contagious, Eva swings down to the little clinic, and everybody in there sick, throwing up, carrying on. And Eva's like, girl, what is this? And the doctor is like, we sent some blood work. Look like it's probably just a stomach flu or whatever. And then it comes back and it's neurovirus. Now, first of all, neuro, in my mind and everybody else's mind, means brain. So I'm sitting here trying to figure out why something called neurovirus would be affecting these people's stomach. But I didn't invent the disease, so I can't. But it's like super contagious, and they recommend that they quarantine everyone who's having symptoms. I never saw the quarantine. Now, mind you, they only show us one dorm on the show. Everybody in that dorm was still in that dorm. Taina was in there. She wasn't sick at all, but she was in the dorm with the sick people. So what's the quarantine? Where was it? Anyway. So then we see Eva, and suddenly it's nighttime. And because it was daytime when she went into the doctor's office. And before that, she told Sydney, go on to the house. I don't need you getting sick. I can't be worrying about you being sick and all of this other stuff I'm worrying about too. Go on to the house. I tell a white roommate where you went. She ends up not telling white roommate where she went. So, but we'll get to that in a little bit. It's nighttime now. And that was confusing to me. Because I'm like, girl, it was just daytime a second ago. And I know the sun goes down. But all of a sudden it's dark and ain't nobody in the clinic. She walking out and it's just like, empty and deserted and ain't nobody out there. And I'm like, And you see somebody walking behind her. And I'm like, that look like Terrence, but it can't be Terrence because Terrence has gone on. He's gone on. He's crossed over. But it is Terrence. She turns around. She's like, I was wondering if you're going in the same, to the parking lot as I am. And I'm like, if you feel like you're being followed, why would you turn to the person you think is following you and say, is you coming with me to the parking lot? What was the point? Where was we going to go with that? Anyway, so he take off his hood and it's Terrence. And I'm like, oh, she dreaming. She starts running. Well, he says, when you going to pay my money, my family, their money be? And then she starts running and trips and falls and ends up falling out the bed because it was a dream. I'm the type of person that if I see somebody dead in my dream, I'm logical enough in my dream to say, they're dead. This is a dream. And then they go away. But everybody ain't me. Let's see. There's a lot going on in this episode. But it was better than last week. So True Roommate is over there. She mixing and mastering her record and everything. Now, we had been hearing her music throughout the episode. They were playing her music. And I was like, oh, okay, that's Roommate's voice. Cute. Then we finally see her and she's mixing and mastering the music. And Cedric comes in and he's giving, your track is whack. All of that, whatever. She still has headaches and he got his head spinning. And I'm like, we're doing too much. Everybody's just too sick for these things. Everybody needs to go to bed. And he asked her what the song is about, and she's like, triumph and getting back up after been knocked down. And for some reason, they make a pop culture reference about Donnie McClurkin, and I'm like, he ain't pop culture worthy, but all right. Then, Cedric said his head is spinning, and I'm like, Lord, he gonna have it too. We find out that it was the shrimp. The shrimp were underchilled, and they made everybody sick, but they have to replace the Frigidaire for people to stop getting sick. And I'm like, y'all didn't notice that the refrigerator, y'all don't have, okay. Because I check the temperature on things often. I make sure things are exactly as they should be regularly. So I don't understand the mindset of people not checking and writing down. If I were the head of the kitchen, I would make sure that my people were writing down the temperature at least every other day. What was the temperature when you got here this morning? What's the temperature when we close the kitchen in the evening? But that's just me. I'm just one of those type of people, I guess. Everybody ain't me. But they have to close down the kitchen and they have to replace the refrigeration unit. So that means that Terrence's family won't get the money. And I'm like, why do they need money in the first place? Moving along. There's a drug deal on campus. He's giving out weed and ginger ale and snacks and carryings on. And a white roommate buys a ginger ale, and then boy roommate buys the ginger ale off white roommate for $20. She had to pay $5. He gave her $20. She spends the $20 on some weed. Sydney calls white roommate, and she got an attitude. Why you leave me throwing up in the bathroom? Yada, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, it was just a misunderstanding. Her mama didn't tell the girl that she told her to go to the room, blah, blah, blah. But she got an attitude. And I'm like, girl, she don't want to get sick. Is it illogical for the girl to not want to get sick? You mad just to be mad. Anyway, we see Jasmine Guy again in her classroom, and she needed a deep condition on that weave, honey. I use ion repair for myself. And honestly, it blesses me. They're not even paying me to say this, but girl, you needed something. It was a little ratty. But Eva comes in and she's, telling all that's going on. The kids are sick and I got to replace the this and the that and I can't pay the family and now I'm having nightmares and all this. And Jasmine Guy's like, girl, I feel for you. Wash your hands. Get on. I don't want to get sick. Then Bojan goes over to Taina's house and dorm room and lays all up in her bed with his sickness. Do you not know how to fault that nigga? The inconsideration. How very dare you come unto my room where I'm not sick and put your sick germs inside of my bed? Oh, girl. I don't care how good a friend we are. We ain't friends no more. I was disgusted. Moving along. Let's see. Latre. So Eva comes in to see what's going on with the girls. She got her gloves, her masks on and carrying on. And she's like, girls, what's going on? They trying to figure out when the food gonna be here. Can we get some popcorn, this, that, and the other? And then Latre just falls out. Just boop, hits the ground. And so they call the ambulance, yada, yada. Latre turned out to be fine, girl. Then we see Dean, and band director sitting there having a slimy conversation, and I zoned out, but I zoned back in to find out that band director's in remission, and I was not celebrating like he was, because I'm ready for him to go on up yonder to be with whomever. But they clapping, dancing to the big payback, and talking about it's time to make Clyde Taylor pay. I don't have the time. Madison, white roommate, she doesn't want to sound like the dumb white girl, but she has a question. Why wouldn't the school want to go ahead and join the university system, yada yada? And it's like, girl, because we are a prestigious black school. We are a black school who has done things blackly the whole time. We've created our own blackly, and we don't want the white people to come in and claim our stuff. Whitewashing. And she's like, how is that washing away history? Not washing away, white roommate. Whitewashing. It's different. So they school her about that. Sydney's on her date, honey, and she's trying to be the old Sydney, the old fast huzzy Sydney, but she can't do it because she's having flashbacks about Terrence. And so she done straddled this boy, and she done took his belt off, and they getting ready to go into the throes of passion, but she's flashing back, so now she can't do it. Now she want to go home, and she done got an attitude, and he wants to just talk to her, and she's like, well, I don't need you to give me the poor Sydney, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, don't you need to talk to somebody? You done quit therapy, and you know you need to be still in therapy, so you need to talk to somebody. Talk to this boy. Anyway, let's see. Eva and Coach swang over to Terrence's house. Terrence's mama still got an attitude. Long story short, they let Terrence's family know that, look, we got to buy a refrigerator for the shrimp, honey. We can't be worried about your son right now. The daddy says, well, can y'all name a building or put a memorial up on the campus, for Terrence in lieu of the time? And I'm like, girl, no, y'all don't understand y'all son was a rapist. Is that hard to understand? I know it's like, not my baby, but girl, yes, your baby. The mama tells the husband, girl, escort them out. But as he's escorting them out, she gets up and let me ask my question. Did the girl ever apologize? She killed Terrence. And Eva turns to Coach and like, is she talking about Sydney? And then, they get to hollering, she killed my son, and your son raped my daughter, and he ought to be apologizing to her from a jail cell. And it was a lot. It was a lot of emotions. But I'm on Eva's side with this one. You can grieve your son all you want to, but while you're grieving his death, you need to be grieving the fact that you raised a rapist. And I understand you probably didn't raise him like that, but you raised a boy who turned out to be a rapist. Be upset about that. Be upset within yourself. You don't have to reflect that onto the school, the people. You don't need to be suing because your son done shot himself in the head after raping some girls. You don't. I'm tired. Anyway. Let me see. Football friend goes on to Jasmine Guy's room and says, can I retake the test? She said, yeah, you got 2 hours. Go. He said, I'm not ready to retake the test right now. And I'm like, well, what did you ask for? Why you ain't study to show yourself approved? That's what the Bible say. He done asked for a retake and he ain't ready to retake. Girl. And he says he wasn't used to having a second chance. And she schools him right quick and says, be prepared. Always be prepared for your second chance. I'll let you retake the test, but you're not going to know when it's coming. So you need to study to show yourself approved. And when I, let you retake this test, you better be ready. It might be tomorrow. It might be next week. It might be at the end of the school year. But I'll let you retake the test. You just be ready. And I thought that was a really cool lesson. And honestly, that's a lesson that is traditional to HBCUs. It's like, I understand that you are a young black person. I am also a black person. I'm going to help you with this. I understand the white colleges have these things as well, but it feels much more familiar and close with black colleges. Anyway, boy roommate was out there stealing food, stealing blankets, carrying on. He won't talk about what it's about, but we know it's about the niggas in the hoods. True roommate has decided to rap over Cedric's beat, and it's a good time. Sounds great. The quarantine is over. White roommate still got an attitude with Sydney. The baby girl is still outside of band director's house playing this saxophone child, and he says, you was wrong, and I'm going to think about letting you back on the team. Because she goes into, I'm talented and I can play, and da-da-da. And it's like, girl, you were still wrong. And he's like, you are a spoiled 17-year-old girl with rich parents who's never had to feel the consequences of her actions, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to think about letting you back on the team. I would have left it at you've never had to deal with the consequences of your actions, and let her stew on that. And then if I decided to let her back on the team, tell her a couple weeks later. But whatever. Now she got hope. So we having another dream. Terrence done popped back up on her. She punching him, kicking him. He's unaffected. And she's asking, why won't you die? Why won't you die? Why won't you die? She's swinging in the bed. Sydney comes in and is like, girl, sis, niece, mom, settle down. And Eva was like, girl, how are you okay? How are you dealing? What's wrong with you? I mean, what's not wrong with you? How's this going on? And Sydney tells her she's not okay. And then the episode goes off. Let me go get these groceries for my grandparents. I'll call y'all later. Peace.